watched a movie recently about space and travel, and it got very Lord of the Flies-esque.
Exactly. That's what I told Puzzle. I was like, this movie is Lord of the Flies in space.
Absolutely.
But the starting premise. So the movie we're talking about is Voyagers. It's on HBO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I said Netflix last time, but HBO. It's a great movie. It has some good young actors in it.
Mhm.
But
Bran.
I mean, yeah, Bran, he's like a shit roll in there too. But anyway,
It was Bran.
yeah, he's a crazy one.
Mhm.
But anyway, so just to think of the opening premise, right? Do y'all think that we could get to that point?
Wait. Explain what the opening premise is, though.
Yeah.
Well, not to give away too much, but they discover a planet that more or less is built exactly like Earth, right? Has landmass, has visible oceans. Problem is, it's 89 years away from us. So any travel's 89 years. So what they do on this ship is they breed, and they actually breed these children to live in isolation. And they tell the children the whole time, hey, you were bred for this reason. You are to crew the ship until the next generation's bred. And then hopefully by the third generation is the generation that would land on the planet. And so, yeah, what do y'all think? Do you think that something like this could have already happened and we don't know about it? Or do y'all think that this is just a wrong way to go about it?
It was completely unethical. Those children did not ask for that. Like, they were made for it, and I felt so bad for them. During the movie, there was a pivotal part about their behavior, and they've never learned how to socialize and how to be. Like, this space program didn't create a fucking failsafe, and they were gonna even send them out there by themselves.
So I honestly believe everything that happened was part of the plan. I honestly believe that. With the way Richard talks about it, right? They need somebody to raise them. And even in his closing message, his closing message gives it away. I don't remember it word for word, but he said, hopefully the strongest and smartest survive. So, I mean,
well, at that point when he recorded that, I'm guessing that he would do a video log like every day, and one of the kids was already like talking about not taking the blue because he had discovered it. So I think Richard was already thinking like, no, yeah, they're gonna stop taking it whether if I tell them to or not. Like, he already knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, they gave enough thought. That's where I'm at, right? The logical thing to think of. If they gave enough thought to give them the blue to calm their emotions, then they had enough thought to what would happen if they stopped taking the blue.
Yeah.
And Richard probably, that's the wrong word to use there. But he probably knew something like this was going to come to a head, because it's always going to be human nature to be curious. What is this? Why is this going on? The one kid found the hidden compartment, and Richard's like, crap. I knew it was going to happen, but it's sooner than I was hoping for. And they were already in space for 10 years. Yeah. So once they start to reach that age over 17, 18, that's when their major curiosity is going to come out. That's when they're really going to start pushing back and asking the hard questions.
Can you imagine too, I was thinking about it, you have this generation that was born on Earth, right? And then they launch. So they kind of have some idea. They smell those rosemary and lavender things that Richard had in his cabin. But the second generation, they will have no frame of context, right? And these kids weren't taught social things at all. And then, by the time it gets to the third generation, it's going to look very different. Humanity is going to look very different by the time it gets to this new planet. But like you think about Lord of the Flies, because this was absolutely Lord of the Flies. There's three themes in Lord of the Flies. You have savagery versus like civilization. You have the loss of innocence, and you have like nature, like just like Puzzle said, you have nature. So you really see those things in Lord of the Flies. You have I forgot their names. Ralph and Jack.
Never read it.
Never, okay.
It's been like high school. All I remember is the council boys, the conch. You pass it around. Then the groups split, and they fight over the island. That's all I really remember.
That's a great summary. That's pretty much what happened on the ship. So you have Zach and Chris, right? Zach, who's pretty much Jack, and Chris is pretty much, I forgot his name already. Yeah, the other guy, Ralph. And he attacks him, which Zach did do. So once I like saw that, I was like, I already know that we're gonna go. And it was an interesting movie, and it really talked about like human behavior. When they stopped taking the blue, they couldn't control their desires or their feelings. It was like overload for them. And I was like, wow, this is like truly human nature at it, like it devolved almost.
I wonder how it would have been if instead of them continually taking the blue, Richard started to wean them off of it, like over a 5-year, 10-year period. Once they hit about 15, 16. That way they're slowly... That could have been
part of the plan.
Right? They could slowly learn what these desires are. He could teach them what they were and how to handle them and why they were on the blue versus being allowed to come across these feelings organically.
Yeah, and... coming back, I understand the premise of the movie, right? It's Lord of the Flies, space. But, thinking back, resetting the experiment a little bit, what would have been the difference between picking a group of older trained astronauts in a way, right? They start the mission, and then as you go, you start having the children introducing them. It gives the people something to keep their mind off. They're taking care of babies and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And kind of that way there's somebody there to build a moral foundation.
That'd have been good.
Yeah.
I would feel that would be a little more ethical. Even if they were breeding the children on the ship, at least they kind of had a parental figure versus just kind of throwing these kids into the wolves.
Yeah.
I want to know what happens, like, I guess that's like a big spoiler. Never mind.
Well, I mean, they're going to another planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so at the end, do y'all think any of them made it to the planet? The original crew?
I would hope so. At least, like, most of them totally understand if some pass away.
Because I think about it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go for it.
So it's only 86 years from launch to land. The kids were, we'll say 7. So 10 years later, they're 17. And then they're supposed to have children after a certain number of years. So I think, add, 70 to that? 80
I think
just
we
rounded
roughly
up.
said 90, 95, 96.
Yeah. With the technology that we have versus the technology they would have had there, they would have definitely be living longer lifespans.
I don't understand this comment. Sorry, KFC.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the major.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's a wild ride, though.
So intense.
Yeah, but I don't know. So when they do the final shot of the planet and they show the little group of people, and they have that one little gray-haired lady, I'll believe that is what's her name, Sal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, she made it, but he didn't.
Yeah, fuck that other guy.
Did you guys really think it was like I was like, oh, it got spooky. Like, is it really an alien? Did you ever really think it was an alien or?
I think it was. I don't think it was an alien, but I do think it was a dark presence, and that was protruding from Zack, right? He was protruding to darkness, and it was a manifestation of his darkness in a way.
100%.
Yeah.
It was a
Is
great
it-
movie.
Yeah,
like
they
it.
only saw it when he did something bad, so. But it's also the mind bug, right?
Mm.
So if you supplant a fearful idea in somebody's head, it will spread.
Yeah.
And-
Like wildfire.
yeah.
Yeah, even Bran was afraid.
He was the one spreading it mostly. I think he's the creator of the alien. He would have been because he was always there watching the screens and talking about it. And
I don't want
Yeah.
to be in the control room. It lives
Yeah.
there.
Leave you little bitch.
Well, that wraps up another great episode. And don't forget to join our amazing and supportive community on Discord.
In our Discord, you can find game nights, watch parties, food picks, Dungeons and Dragons, and more. What's not to love about that? We have a little something for everyone. Head over to our website, officialmillennials.com, and you'll find more info, especially our featured Gamer of the Week.
Speaking of something for everyone, we have a book club. We read a book almost every month and talk through it together. We also have a special perk for our subs to discuss other books in a series called Chapter 2.
Don't forget to swing by YouTube and drop us a follow at Official Millennials. You can also find us on Twitter at MillsOfficial. We appreciate all the support, and y'all have a good one.
This is an Official Millennials production.